Yeah. And I mean,
anymore.
what is homeschooling? Yeah, it's not isolated.
No, I mean, it's communities with it's being in community with other families who are living that way.
People would say, do you just stay at home all day? Do your children have any friends? Do they ever get out and talk to people? Do they know how to talk to people? You know?
Okay. This thing drives me crazy.
I know,
Christina,
because
when I'm around your kids, they can talk to a baby. Your teenagers can hang out with a baby. If an 80-year-old sat down with them.
Right, and I think that's the benefit of homeschooling. You're not in a room with, 20 third graders or sixth graders or seventh graders. You are with a family with a baby or a grandmother or a great-grandmother or a neighbor down the street or people in your church or people at the grocery store. You're out in the community really more than you are when you're in an artificially
Created environment.
Right.
It's very stratified. And I always used to say, I don't think I want my children socialized by a bunch of other 8-year-olds.
Exactly.
Like, I really think that I would like
when
for
you're
there to be-
around
Yes.
kids
Yes.
that are socialized
Yes.
by 30 other,
Whatever age they are.
who, and I feel like technology factors into this
Yes.
because what is homeschooling? It is an environment where you as a parent and teacher get to make decisions about technology, which is a big thing. And I feel like in our day and age, if your child is at any type of school, doesn't matter what, the average age of the child that has their own phone, that's required to have an iPad, that's required to have all these apps on it, is much, much, much lower. And so that child's interest, my children, if they have any access to those things, their minds that should be focused on the beauty in nature or a great book or a piece of art, it is focused on, I want to play that game. And so when I think about socialization, I think about being around other people, but I also think about that mind being freed from the tyranny of technology.
Sure. Yeah, I think so too.
Which makes a child's mind much more attentive when they meet another adult or a child or a,
But you are spending time with other families. I mean, the other thing is you not only have more ability to monitor the technology and how early they're exposed and but it's the same way with people. And so suddenly I know all the people that my children are spending time with, and I just have more awareness even of that. Like we were talking about that in terms of education. What is my child ready for in this or that subject matter? But it's also like that with friendships and with different exposure to different types of personalities or people that may be different. And that's important. I mean, I think exposing them to different types of people, but I've never felt a lack of that. And I think that's what I hear behind that question is, well, how are your children socialized? Well, we don't just hang out with all the same sorts of people. Like, you're able to give them, I mean, like when our girls were working at Belle Meade, I mean, they're interacting with the public at a very young age, and they're learning how to give time to doing things that are cultivating those skills that kids who are in a classroom all day cannot, they just don't have that out in the real world. Yeah.
And so many other families are homeschooling. There is no lack of friends out there to get together with, and moms to go back and forth with, share information, share, homeschooling ideas, books, while the kids are playing in the backyard. And that's really a beautiful
Did y'all
thing.
see that little article this summer that had come out of Harvard about how the dangers of homeschooling, and the graphic of the child kind of in this home jail behind bars and all the other happy school children out there playing. I'm like, here's the picture, people.
I know, exactly.
It's a bunch of kids that are either on their iPads
or sitting in
a
a desk.
homeschool. My kids who know every single one of their neighbors, who the baby across the street, when he's out, they want to play with the baby. They don't know that they're 11 and they're not supposed to be interested in younger children, or the elderly lady that lived behind us, who was in her 90s, that my daughter would go and hang out with, and they would talk and play with the dog, and these rich relationships that form. So, okay, I feel, have we covered? I'm just ready in society for that to be flipped. I'm not on the defensive anymore.
No.
Homeschool children are socialized children.
They are very social.
They're where we're heading. That's what you're wanting, people.